أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Those who are familiar with the Quran, of course most of you, if not all of you, when you read, you are confronted with two situations. It is either an instruction or an information, and nothing else. When you read the Quran, you will find that He's giving you a commandment, and it always starts, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Because you believe, I'm going to help you, basically what it means. Because you believe, I'm going to help you how to guide your life, how to help you to go through this life and indeed succeed in this life and the next life. And the second thing that you'll find is an information. For example, that there is life after life, this life we know, there is unseen creatures, and so on. How do we behave with each one is different. When you have a commandment, we have no other way but to follow it wholeheartedly, fully. But what we have in information, there's not much to do except to believe what it is. Accept it and believe in it. I'm going to give you an information from the Quran. Indeed, when you start the Quran from the very beginning, after Al-Fatiha, you'll find it starts with information. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة until you reach ayah number 21, the first injunction that there is in the Quran. So it's a commandment. So I'm going to give you a commandment from Surah Al-Imran, which is Surah number 3, ayah number 19. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this information, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. Deen is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is nothing but Islam, full submission. So there are two key words there. There's Deen and there is Islam. And obviously they are different. Because Allah says the Deen that He will accept is only that which is called Islam. What is Deen? How do we understand Deen? Deen is a set of beliefs of some superpower that has the right to be worshipped, to be obeyed, and indeed He's engaged in controlling the affairs of this world. Loosely. This is one definition, if you like. There are so many deens, so many ways of life. Deen in Islam means a different way of life altogether. Should we throw them away? No. We discuss with them. Indeed, I was talking to my brother this morning, and Allah tells us, when He speaks about surah of non-believers, al-kafirun, He said, قُل, speak to them. Don't put yourself in a shell and don't know them. No, they exist. قُل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون. Total negation of the worship side of life. And then at the end He said, لكم دينكم ولي دين. He didn't say you have something which is not deen. It is deen. So if you know, if you have any idea about what is called the Islamic jurisprudence, when they talk about deen, they say الديانات السماوية والديانات الغير سماوية, meaning deens which has revelations from God, like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And some scholars, they add the Magians as well, because they used to have a book which was destroyed by Alexander the Great, totally burned it, because they used to have some revelations which were destroyed, like the Judaism, when their literature, or if you like, their books, were totally destroyed. And the Christians which have lost their books, we all know how they happened. The books, how they, like the Treaty of Nicaea, when they gathered and rejected some and accepted, choose what they like, basically. So there are books, they're called religion of what we call divine origin, and those who are not, like Hinduism or indeed Buddhism. So these are religions that have origin to a person, or indeed some books that no one knows what they are, because they used to be word of mouth. They were never written. In the beginning, if you try to study Buddhism or Hinduism, how the transmission of the revelations or the books of reference, it was just word of mouth until they have disappeared. So obviously, as I said, we have two deens. A deen with revelations and deen without revelations. We're going to speak about the deen about revelations, they have certain things which are common. When all the three, if you like, at least the three, if not I said four, they have focused on what is called monotheism. There's no deity except one God. But when it comes to rituals, they're different. Read Surah Shura, ayah number 13. You'll find that all of them have the same creed, same belief. شرع لكم من الدين ما وصى به نوحا والذي أوحينا إليك وما وصينا به إبراهيم وموسى وعيسى أن أقيموا الدين ولا تتفرقوا فيه. Allah has decreed that the deen is the same. From Nuh, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course all the other prophets, Musa, Ibrahim, Isa, all of them. So basically, when it comes to the creed, is the same, and obviously the jurisprudence is different. And in Surah number 5, ayah 48, لكل منكم جعلنا شرعة ومنهاجا. Each one of you has specific sharia and a specific way of performing it. So there are differences. So we have the same creed but different rituals. And that is the difference between the two. And in fact, even Islam in Mecca and Islam in Medina is not the same. There was no fasting, for example, in Mecca, 13 years. There was no Hajj, there was no Zakah, all these happened later on. So the ritual changed with time. Quran speaks about all the prophets, and they literally use the word Muslim. Literally. For example, if you speak about Nuh alayhi salam, if you read Surah 10, ayah 72, نوح is saying فإن توليتم فما سألتكم من أجر إن أجري على الله وأمرت أن أكون من المسلمين. If you turn away from me, it's up to you. I'm not going to ask you for any reward for that, for what I do to you, but I have been instructed to be of the Muslims, literally. Ibrahim alayhi salam, ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Ibrahim alayhi salam and Yaqub both gave this instruction to their children not to die except in the total state of Islam. Musa is same thing. وقال موسى يا قوم إن كنتم آمنتم بالله فعليه توكلوا إن كنتم مسلمين. You find the word Muslims repeated again and again and again. And that is Surah 10, ayah 84. عيسى عليه السلام فلما أحس عيسى منهم الكفر قال من أنصاري إلى الله قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله آمنا بالله واشهد بأننا مسلمون. So all the prophets from day one have exactly the same concept of Islam. What you saw, as I said, Islam is two things. Or you will come to understand Islam later on. It's better. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. أول المسلمين. Some of you may get confused. Here's the last time I say I'm the first. What does it mean? Basically, the full, complete format. He's the first one to apply it. The rest, they have Islam gradual, not full picture of Islam. The only Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one, as you all know, in this extraordinary ayah that was revealed in Arafat, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. أتممت, complete, comprehensive, full. ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. So basically we have two things, as I said. The deen is something that everybody has. Just to summarize for those who just come. Deen, we have those who are what you call with revelations and these without revelations. And we are talking about deens now with revelation. And indeed, Islam. What is Islam? I just read to you ayah number 5, surah number 3. Surah number 5, ayah number 3. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم. Islam is basically three fundamentals. Islam is three fundamentals. Most of you think that Islam is 5 pillars, but Islam is indeed 5 fundamentals. Fundamental number 1 is what is called al-aqidah, the creed. It has characteristics. First and foremost, it answers those important questions that each one of you must have, or must have asked himself. 3 questions. The scholar, they call it al-as'ila al-thalatha al-khalida. The eternal 3 questions that every human being must ask. Number 1, who am I? How did I come to be? That means, if I exist, how did I come to be? Number 2, if I'm here, to do what? What's the purpose of my life? And number 3, I'm going to go. One time, there will come time when I won't be here. Then what happened when I'm gone? So these are the 3 questions that only Islam can answer you, these questions. If you read Surah Al-Insan, human being, Insan, mankind, if you like, Surah number 76, it gives you an answer for these 3 questions. Straight away. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Was it not a time that you were nothing to be mentioned? So it tells you, think. It's a question here. But question which means confirmation. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ. Here is answer your question. You came, I created you, and this is how exactly. For those who know the scientific facts, it tells you exactly how, from one sperm, when you ejaculate, you send more than 4-5 million lives. Only one of those, min nutfatin amshaj, mixed with the egg. For a purpose? Yes. Nabtali. You'll come to this life, you'll go through a test. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصَرًا. I gave him the tools to go through this life. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ. We have indeed guided them, right and wrong. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. Some of them are grateful, some of them are not, and the majority are not, as you know. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَلَاسِلَ وَأَغْلَالًا وَسَعِيرًا. Be careful. When you leave this world, there will be 2 situations. Either hell or paradise. He speaks about the kuffar first. إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَلَاسِلَ وَأَغْلَالًا وَسَعِيرًا. إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ يَشْرَبُونَ مِنْ كَأْسٍ كَانَ مِزَاجُهُ كَفُورًا. So either you hear, so he answered these 3 most important questions that each and every person has. What the scholars say, مِنْ أَيْنَ لِمَاذَا وَإِلَىٰ أَيْنَ. From where have I come, why I'm here, and where am I going to? This is the first characteristic of this aqidah of Islam that helps you with. So second characteristics, it is clear in this statement. There's no ambiguity. La ilaha illallah. Everybody understands it. You don't need Einstein to explain to you what it means. There's no deity except one. But that's it, finished. No complications. Firm, unchanging, does not require any interpretation. From day one, when the Prophet Muhammad said, what did he say? La ilaha illallah. No compromise whatsoever. You don't pray, you don't fast, And he used to say, "Man qala la ilaha illallah dakhala al-jannah." When you say la ilaha illallah, you will enter Jannah. So basically, from day one, there's no compromise with the creed, with the belief. No compromise was. Everything else take time. Number 4 of its characteristics is based on proofs and conviction. It requires proof. You can't just say it. You say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah to become a Muslim. Do you know what it means? What it means, Shahada, when you say Shahada literally in Arabic? Shahada in Arabic means testimony, yes. It means swearing as well, making an oath. فَشَهَادَةُ أَحَدِهِمَا أَرْبَعَ شَهَادَاتٍ بِاللَّهِ. The Quran tells you do Shahada means to make an oath. So basically you're saying by Allah, but I swear that there is no deity except Allah, and I also swear that Muhammad is his messenger. That means you are convinced, you have no doubt. And the Quran explains it to you in no uncertain terms. He tells you, for example, in Surah Al-Hujurat, Surah 49, Ayah 15, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. And those who know the language, إِنَّمَا is called in Arabic حرف توكيد وحصر. The believers are only those. If you don't have this translation in your Quran, make a note, it's wrong. The believers are only those who believe in Allah and His Messenger and have no doubt. And of course, why we believe in Allah and His Messenger, another topic, it will be too long. It requires to go through a process, and which at the end of which you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. It's not the beginning. Most of us, we've been told, you just say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you will become a Muslim. No, that's the end of a long process, which when you are convinced, you say it. These are the characteristics. How do we acquire it? How do you acquire this aqidah? How does it come? First, it's from your fitrah, natural. It comes to you naturally, a gift. Do you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we were reciting earlier this Surah Al-Insan. What did He say? هَلَ تَعَلَى الْإِنسَانِ حِينٌ مِنَ الدَّهْرِ لَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْئًا إِنَّا خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ. We have guided man, every human being. He's not talking about Muslims. He's talking about insan in general. Every human being is guided. Inna hadaynahu sabil. We guided him the straight way. This is the way that you have to go through. This is right and this is wrong. And obviously you can see it in children of 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. They're talking, playing each other, using the word right, wrong, fair, not fair. How do they know that? You have not taught them, but they say it naturally. It's called fitrah. فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. Allah says this is the way you have been created. You distinguish between right and wrong innately, naturally, without any effort. Number 2, this is the natural way. There's another step, if you like, which you must take now. It's called the step of using logic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted you with logic. What is logic in Islam? Logic in Islam requires 3 fundamentals, if you like. 3 pillars. In Islam, to use what is called logic, you need to use 3 pillars. Pillar number 1, what is called the causes and effects. Nothing happened without a cause. Nothing. Okay. Can you tell me this glasses came in on its own, or this cup came in on its own? No. If you tell me, I'll tell you mad. If I tell you this, I found it here on its own, just came in from nowhere, you tell me you are, as the Urdu brothers, they say, pagal, crazy, mad. No, you can't be. So there is always a cause for anything that happens in this world. Fundamental number 2, the purpose. If you want to prove from the Quran, there's plenty. قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الظُّلُمَاتُ وَالنُّورُ. Day and night are not similar. And then obviously, مَنْ خَلَقَ, for example, if you talk about the first topic about the cause and effect, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ خَلَقُوا Surah Tur, for example. Have you been created from nothing? أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ. Have you created the universe? So basically, someone has made it. That's what he's telling you. It can't happen on its own. So you have to find out. You use your logic and it comes to that. As I said, number one, logic is definitely the cause and effects. Number two, it's called the purpose. Anything who has no purpose in life is useless. Anything that has no purpose is useless. And Allah tells you, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Do you think you have been created uselessly? Purposeless? Obviously, if it was the case, then it's nothing. And third, fundamental, if you like, of logic in Islam is we do not accept contradictions. You can't accept contradictions. You can't say day and night, night and day. No. هل تساوي الظلمات والنور? Is light like darkness? No, you can't. So if you use these three fundamentals of what is called logic, you'll come to the conclusion that God exists. You don't need to go far. Why? Why do you think that God exists if you use this logic? Because if you say that nothing happened without a cause, and nothing happens purposeless, and contradiction is not accepted, have you ever heard of anyone saying, I created you or created the universe? Even if you don't know, because normally there's a third purpose, how to get to know. If you don't know, you say, he said, Allah said so. So give him, if I don't know, so give him the benefit of the doubt. He said, though, at least give him the benefit. He said it. I don't know. So give him the benefit of the doubt. But last but not least, the most important way of acquiring your aqidah is in Islam is knowledge. And as you know, the first word that was revealed, read. طَلَبُ الْعِلْمِ فَرِيضَةٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ وَمُسْلِمَةٍ. The Prophet said, knowledge is an obligation. Farida, fard means if you don't do, you are sinful. That if you do not, you are sinful. Fard. When you say fard in jurisprudence language, it means an action that you have to do. If I do, I'm rewarded. If I don't, I'm sinful. So, طَلَبُ الْعِلْمِ فَرِيضَةٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ وَمُسْلِمَةٍ. It's an obligation on every Muslim, male and female. That is why? Because this is the top. Allah tells you the importance of knowledge. Of course, He tells you how to get to, for example, He tells us how to get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ. It tells you that in creation of all these things, you can come to the Creator. Because obviously, if you see creation, you see creation. If I see a wonderful car or a wonderful object, whatever it is, if I just focus on the object and forgot about who made it, then I had something wrong with me. So I have to say, oh, that's wonderful. Whoever done it is really someone extraordinary, someone important. The most important is who make it, not what I have. So knowledge, as I said, is the most important. For example, I'll give you an example from the Quran. Surah 3, ayah number 18. Remember, this is very important. Remember, Surah 3, ayah number 18. You memorize it and go and read it again. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو. You're talking about shahada earlier? Saying ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Who said it? Allah is telling you who can say it properly. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو. Well, this is what the scholar they say. Shahadatu, he's doing it for himself. He's making testimony for himself. There's no problem. He knows. Second, والملائكة, and the angels. Third, وأولو العلم. 4, 0. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا والملائكة وشهد الله أنه لا إله والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط. He is just. Who can do that? Allah Himself, the angels, and people who have knowledge. People who don't, they struggle. They will struggle. That is, you understand why the first word was iqra, read, meaning source of information. So this is basically what, in a very concise situation, what is the aqidah in Islam, how we acquire it, what it is, and so on. Second fundamental in Islam is called al-ibadah, worship. I like the definition of what was one of the scholars. He's still alive. He gave a wonderful definition. I'll translate it to you. It's a free obedience. Because you know, لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي. Nothing must be compulsory. Based on conviction through knowledge, as we were just talking about earlier. Performed with love and due care. I love to pray, not I have to pray. Most of us say, I have to pray, get rid of it. No, I love to pray. That is something what Allah wants. ومن الناس من يتخذ من دون الله أندادا يحبونهم كحب الله والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله. They love Allah more than anything else. And they obviously they love. Why Ibrahim was top? Allah says in Ibrahim كان أمة. Ibrahim was a nation on his own, meaning he has all the qualities of whole nation. One nation, one man has the quality of all of it. Why? Because he was looking forward to the rituals. رَبَّنَا وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا. Show us, I want to worship you. That's what he's saying. رَبَّنَا أَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا. Allah, show me, I want to worship you. Because he understood the importance. So basically, perform with love and due care, leading to an eternal bliss in this life and the next life. This is one definition of the scholars, but some scholars say just ask to obey Allah in all His instruction to do and obey Him in all instruction not to do. But I just told you that I like this definition of this scholar. Characteristics of these worships. Divine origin. From day one. Why do you pray? Because Allah said so. How do you pray? The Prophet ﷺ will explain to you. You're not going to think. When it comes to worship, remember, I told you the Aqidah in Islam, you must think. And you must come to your own conclusion. In Ibadah, it's totally the opposite. You must not think. And you must leave it to the Prophet to explain to you. He will tell you the benefit. You will find the benefit, which we'll maybe try to figure out in a few minutes. So when it comes, it's a divine origin. And third fundamental of ibadah in Islam is moderate and based on ease. Nothing is difficult. لا يكلف الله, look, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. He's telling you, Allah does not ask you to do anything that you can't do. This is, where do you find this? And a moderation, neither here nor there. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 143, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. We demanded, we made you to be a nation moderate, to be testimony, an example for all mankind. What is the purpose of ibadah? Why do we worship Allah? Some of us say we have to obey Allah. No, basically is to make you good. Remember, one thing is very important in Muslims, in Sunnah, at least in Sunni word, Aqidah is, whatever you do, Allah has no benefit. Whatever you do is for your own sake. من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظلام للعبيد. Whoever does anything good is for himself, and whoever does something wrong is against himself. Allah will not wrong you on their judgment. So basically, this fundamental belief, whatever Allah has asked you to do is not for Him. Some of us say, well, do this for the sake of Allah, understanding that it is Allah who has some sort of benefit. No. Let me take the 4 rituals that we all know, the 5 pillars. Salah. Why do we pray? Allah says in the Quran, Surah Al-Ankabut, إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر. Indeed, Salah is a form of helping you to avoid indecency and evil. And there is something in it even greater than more than that. This is the remembrance of Allah. You remembering Allah and Allah remembering you as well. Because Allah says, قسمت الصلاة بيني وبين عبدي قسمين. I share the prayer between me and my servant in 2 halves. When my servant says Alhamdulillah, I say my servant has praised me. And the whole Hadith Qudsi, which most of you know. So basically, there is a purpose. When some of us must have read or heard of this ayah of the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, and they think the worship is in itself is the objective. All the worship is a mean. I'm going to say it now. Zakah. Why do we pay zakah? Quran tells you, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً, Surah Tawbah. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. Take from their wealth, take. Meaning take it by force if need be. He didn't say ask. Take. Because it's hard for the people to, when you hold something, the greed is very hard. Take, make them learn to get away from the greed. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. That is in Surah number 9, Ayah 103. Fasting. I'm talking about Siyam, for example, Ramadan. Allah told us, Surah 2, so Ayah 183. يا الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Why? لعلكم تتقون. You learn self-discipline. You control your emotion, your desires. You do yourself. No one. I don't need anyone to control. I can control myself. It's a direct negotiation. I mean, it's direct contract between you and Allah. No one is involved. You stop on your own. You learn to stop on your own. You learn to avoid, and the Prophet explained to us, said, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعَ وَالْعَطَشِ. Maybe a fasting person is benefiting nothing except thirst and hunger. Meaning, you have to learn to control. If you are fasting from halal, you stop haram in the first place. Otherwise, forget about it. You did not understand the point. So basically, ibadah fasting has got a purpose. What is the purpose of Hajj? Did Allah left us like again just go and Hajj, go to this desert area and just perform these rituals? No. وَأَدِّنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ. The purpose, for benefit, to witness some benefits. All the benefits we all know, at least equality. Everybody is equal. And of course, training course in time of hardship. If you have never slept on the ground, and all of a sudden you have to sleep in the ground, for refugees or whatever. You can't sleep on the ground, you can eat with you, share your food, you can't find, even toilets is impossible to find sometimes. So basically learning to something. It's not some people think you go to a 5-star hotel and come back and that's it. No, you learn. First and foremost, everybody is equal. Second, train yourself. It's like a Boy Scout. They go out and they live in the desert. It doesn't take you even out of Mecca, go out. Go out for Haram, outside of the Haram. Arafat is outside of the Haram area. You go out and live in the desert. Basically learn to live rough. If it needs be, you are ready. That is basically what you call ibadah and its purpose in a very brief format. Last but not least, fundamentals of Islam. We said number 1 was the Aqidah. Number 2 was al-ibadah. And number 3 is al-mu'amalat. Interaction, transactions with others. No one can live on his own. You cannot be on your own on this planet. It's impossible. You need to interact. And how do you interact? You have to learn to interact, basically. I'll just tell you one hadith because of time. The Prophet ﷺ said in this hadith, very famous hadith in Bukhari, إِنَّمَا بُعِدْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. Do you know the translation? Some of you have, again, innama, as I said earlier. The purpose of my mission is nothing but, if you want to translate innama, harfu tawkidin wa hasr. The purpose of my mission in this word is, إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. I have not been sent except for the purpose of having a wonderful character. And indeed, many other hadith where he said, the heaviest on the scale of Yawm al-Qiyamah is what? Is what you prayed at night. Or you've done 25 Hajj. No, the heaviest, the person who's been best to others. The best to others is that. You remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the angels, إذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا اجعلوا فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس قال إني أعلم ما لا. What did he mean? He knows that there will be communication coming, helping people to become that ideal person. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Someone who is worthy to be the vicegerent, as some translation is, on this planet. Worthy. How do you do that? You need help. You need true Islam. Now, how these three are interlinked? Because we're talking about Aqidah, we're talking about Ibadah, and we're talking about Mu'amalat. How they are linked? If you put them separate, you just read them. Some of us, they go to Aqidah and they start bogging them down into the details of Wahdat al-Uluhiyya, Wahdat al-Rububiyyah, al-Asma, Sifat, Mash'ari. Oh my goodness, it never got out from anything. And the benefit is close to zero. So basically, the Aqidah purpose is to help you do your Ibadah. For example, if I am aware that if I jump from here downstairs, I break my neck, what would I do? Would I jump? No. If I know that something, if I do, will be helpful to me, would I do it or not? Yes. So basically, number one is your Aqidah. That you are convinced that there is no doubt that God is, there's no doubt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, and indeed Muhammad is his messenger. Because that's what you say. I have no doubt that Allah exists, and I have no doubt that Muhammad is his messenger. How do you do that? As I said you earlier, Allah is easy. To say Ashhadu an la ilaha is very easy. It's in your fitrah, as I said. It comes through logic, it comes through knowledge. But how do you say Muhammad Rasulullah? So basically you have to study, because the Prophet ﷺ said, مَا مِن نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا أُوتِيَ مَا آمَنَ عَلَيْهِ قَوْمُهُ. Every prophet will come to bring you, this is my proof. This is my proof, because everybody can say I'm a prophet. And you say, no, this is my proof. And obviously you have to come to this conviction that indeed this is true. And you read the Quran. So basically that's his proof. Prophet said, every prophet coming, my proof is this Quran. I know those who know to study the Quran, which I will say, you must find time to study the Quran. If you are not studying the Quran, you're missing out a lot. You must have at least 1 hour a week, if not a lot more, where you don't just read the Quran. Yes, reading the Quran is the only book in this planet that when you read you are worshipping Allah. Only book. But if you read you don't know, you are missing big time. So basically, find a place, friends or scholars or mosque, wherever you find a place where you study the Quran, because it's so beautiful. It really opens up so many things. It helps you find the pleasure of being a Muslim. You'll be enjoying being a Muslim. Some of us find it difficult. No, you'll find it so beautiful to be a Muslim. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you find that the way it is. Once you have this conviction, the worship will be easy. Why do you think Muslims wake up in 3 o'clock in the morning, in the sun, in the rain, or whatever it is, and they go to the mosque? Why? Because Allah says it's difficult. تتجافى جنوبهم عن المضاجع يدعون ربهم خوفا وطمعا. They stand up even in that situation. Why? Because they're convinced. And obviously, if you are not convinced, your prayer, your fasting, everything will be lousy. You will be just as most of us say, let me get rid of the Salah and then we sit. Let me get off the fasting and then we go do something else. No, let me enjoy. What did the Prophet Muhammad say about his prayer? Just take the prayer, for example, because the prayer is the time we switch off. And we can't switch off our mobiles these days. Is that prayer is time to switch off from this world altogether. Finish. Out. Finish. Allahu Akbar is called Takbirat al-Ihram, meaning any other activity or action is haram. That's what it means. Can't eat, can't sleep, all the things that halal I can't do. So basically I have to learn to switch off. And of course you can't do it if you are not having this conviction first place. Once you have this conviction which is going to lead you to this worship to be nice, good, as it should be, then we said the purpose of the worship itself is not the end, or is not the purpose. It's a mean to an end. The worship, if it's performed better or as it should be, you will become that person that it is the ideal. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us, inshallah, all to do and to be that ideal person, inshallah, through a process, inshallah.